How did you determine? How did you determine? How did you?
Let's hope everything works here. What's going on, everybody? You didn't catch the last hour of the live? The whole live was insanity, honestly, but it was several hours long. I think it was, that was what, a 4-hour live? So, let me put out notifications that I'm on here. They're disgusting. That's why. Okay. That's who they are. Disgusting people. I just want the username of the guy. Like, what's going on here? Guys, I just want the username of the guy. That's all I want. So that way I can tell everyone in here to go report him. Sheffy, thanks. I appreciate it. Oh, I got to pull this stuff forward here. All right, let me set a goal over here and let me move this forward here. I am live right now. Yes, I am, Lisa. How are you? I am live. We had a lot of stupid people today, but that's nothing new. That's nothing new. You know, these people are deranged. And that's who they are. You know, they do gross shit like that because they're deranged. But like that second to last guy's argument about he said it to his daughter, like, holy shit, dude. Like, he was like, yeah, I guess my daughter has a nice figure. Like, what the fuck? Bro, that's not even remotely normal. Like, why are we normalizing that bullshit? That's not even remotely normal, my guy. No, we're not normalizing that. They wanted us to normalize it. The guy was literally like, yeah. All right, let me pull it up for everyone wondering, since we just watched it on the live, right? Let's just take a second to look at what Trump said. Let's take a second, everybody, and talk about some of Trump's crude talk. Just real quick, like, because I feel it's important to prove this.
The last couple of years I go.
My daughter is beautiful, Ivanka.
By the way, your daughter.
She's beautiful.
Can I say this? A piece of ass.
Yeah.
The last couple of years I go out with somebody and she's like 21 and she's talking about, what are you doing? And she's studying algebra. And,
So what?
And it's like, it was always embarrassing for me to walk in. It's too young. 30 is like a perfect age.
Absolutely. She had enough life experience.
Until she's 35.
Too much life experience.
What is it at 35, Howard? It's called checkout time.
And you're probably, I would say, the greatest judge of beauty on this planet. In fact, I would create a TV show.
This is nothing. Just wait till you see what I have. I have him saying something about his infant daughter.
You did was just judge women.
Now, that may be the best idea of all.
It's a simple thing. It's a half hour, and we strip it out all over the
I would
country.
say I'm the all-time judge.
You own this pageant. You go over. You're meeting the girls. This and that. One of them comes up to you and says, "Mr. Trump, you're a very sexy man.
You're a beautiful man. You have fantastic hair.
Well, you're a powerful man."
The thing, that guy goes, well, the guy was trying to say, what would you say in that circumstance? I wouldn't say anything. If someone ever said something like that to my daughter, we'd be fighting. There would be no more talking.
Right? You're a powerful man.
Right.
I want to sleep with you. Now, you're not the type that would say no.
I don't want to hurt their feelings.
Right. No, but I mean, you see a beautiful woman, you want to have that. You're a guy who likes to have everything, right?
Well, couldn't that be construed, however, as
conflict?
yes?
I don't see it as a conflict.
It could be a conflict of interest, but, it's the kind of thing you worry about later.
Oh, I see.
You tend to think about the conflict a little bit later on.
The question is, how can it not be construed?
No, I mean, some of these foreign girls, Mr. Trump, in my country, we say hello with vagina. And
Well, you could also say, as the owner of the pageant, it's your obligation to do that.
So you have done that. Now, tell me
I'll tell you the funniest is that I'll go backstage before a show.
Yes.
And everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else. And, no men are anywhere. And I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant, and therefore I'm inspecting it. I'm inspecting. I want to make sure that
You're like
everything
a doctor.
is good.
You're there.
Yeah, the dress. Is everyone okay? They're standing there with no clothes. Is everybody okay? And you see
Yeah, 'cause that's normal.
looking women. And so I sort of get away with things like that.
That's normal. Talking about walking in dressing rooms. Well, hold on.
Now, we're going to turn to Georgia's interview with radio legend Howard Stern. We hear it's very candid.
It is candid. Howard talks about everything and anything. As you know, he has no filter, but this book is still full of surprises, a lot of self-reflection from Howard as well. Takes us inside how he's changed over the...
See if I can find them. Hold on, there's more. That's nothing. It's literally nothing. Here's the thing. I spent the entire day today convincing MAGA that we should release the files. I told you these people would defend it. The voter base, they'll defend it. Watch this, folks.
It would be really disappointing. Not really. But it would depend on what was inside the magazine. I don't think Ivanka would do that inside the magazine, although she does have a very nice figure. I've said...
Right there. That guy denied that happened. Right there. She has a very nice figure. Remember I said this happened and the guy said no. He just said yeah. He was talking about that first clip. Here's the second clip.
What was inside the magazine. I don't think Ivanka would do that inside the magazine, although she does have a very nice figure. I've said that if Ivanka weren't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her.
Stop it! Oh, it's so weird.
I have never been so grateful for an ellipsis in my life.
You know who's one of the great beauties of the world, according to everybody, and I helped create her?
Who?
Ivanka. My daughter, Ivanka.
Yeah.
She's 6 feet tall. She's got the best body.
Yeah, she's hot.
Still never said it, Muppet.
She's got Marla's legs. We don't know what.
He's talking about his baby here when Tiffany was a baby. Listen to what he says.
Yeah.
She's 6 feet tall. She's got the best body.
Yeah, she's hot.
She's got Marla's legs. We don't know whether or not she's got this part yet, but time will tell.
Talking about his own infant child there. That bad enough yet? Patrick, sit down. You still in here, you Muppet? God damn. Back on timeout again, Patrick. You wish it was AI.
Well, I was going to say sex, but I can't relate that.
He would be incredible for women in this country. And
So remember, guys, I just had a whole argument with a guy who told me that I'm fucking lying and I'm making shit up and he's going to dog walk me regularly because I'm dishonest up here in front of everybody. Now I just showed you everything I claimed he said. Isn't it crazy how they're so full of shit and it's so easy to debunk everything they fucking say? And I mean, they got royally steamrolled today. Royally steamrolled. All right, I want you guys to listen to this. This is super important. I want everyone to listen to this. This is something people need to listen to here.
About Vladimir Putin. The president had this to say about Vladimir Putin in a phone call with the BBC.
Are you done with him? I mean, I know that sounds a simplistic thing.
But I'm disappointed in him. But I'm not done with him. But I'm disappointed in him. So we had a deal done 4 times, and then you go home and you see he just attacked a nursing home or something in Kiev. I said, what the hell was that all about?
Do you trust him?
I trust almost nobody.
Well, some critics say Trump's 50-day timeline handed Putin a green light to finish his brutal summer offensive in Ukraine before facing any consequences. Former Russian President Dmitry Medvedev today dismissed the tariff threat as a, quote, theatrical ultimatum, saying Russia doesn't care.
While the country's foreign minister said he had no doubt that Moscow can cope with any new sanctions.
We want to understand what is behind this statement on 50 days. We really want to know what motivates the President of the United States. It is clear that he is under enormous, I would say, indecent pressure from the European Union and the current leadership of NATO, who impudently support Zelensky's demand to continue pumping him with modern weaponry, including offensive weapons at the expense of...
This situation right here is not on center stage because there's so many other things happening, but this situation is potentially the thing that sparks world war. I'm not kidding. The fact that we're not all focused on this right now because there's so much other stuff going on. Putin's actively sending drones to target civilians. And this isn't like center stage right now. The situation is uncomfortable to say the least. Trump reveals Melania's role in dealing with Putin? What the
President
fuck?
Trump drawing a hard line for Putin to cut a deal.
Trump reveals Melania's role?
And end the war in Ukraine or face new tariffs.
Senior White House correspondent Peter Doocy joins us with more. Hey, Peter.
Good morning. And President Trump's new warning isn't just to Russia, it's to countries that buy a lot of stuff from Russia, including China and India. And it is that in 49 days, there will be new 100% feeling of betrayal.
Gin up reaction
Here it is.
from the base, but the president gave.
And then he says, and then that night, missiles will go off in the middle of the night. And so he says he's talked to Melania, the first lady, and Ukraine loves Melania because he says she played a key role in pointing out Putin's duplicity. And so she grew up in the former Yugoslavia, so she knows this region. She has always been a supporter of Ukraine since the war began. And now the Ukrainians are loving her. They're putting things on social media, memes about her with her picture, and she's wearing a navy blazer. It's from the inauguration when she wore the black hat and this navy blazer. And on it, they've put, I don't know if she, I don't
By the way, guys, I need you all to do me a huge favor in here right now. This dude that keeps joining the live, his name is Josh. I want you guys to go to his account. I want everyone in here to do it right now so we can get him off here. All right? Go to TikTok. I want everyone to pull up your TikTok, and you're going to see the name Josh dot, like a period, drop. Josh dot drop. Okay? He's got 320 followers. His bio says livin', huntin', laughin', good times. Heavyset guy drinking liberal tears there in the the only video on his channel. I want every single person to report this guy's account. I want everyone to report this guy's account. You can't report guests while they're in my live because it hurts me. But I want every single person in here right now to go report Josh, period, drop, D-R-O-P. Note just typed it in the chat. Everyone, the Christian that showed his shit on my live, he keeps coming in and coming on different accounts and showing shit, but this is his main account. I want you guys to report it. It doesn't matter. Find a category that you see. Josh.drop. You'll see it. It's the only account with that name. Josh, period, drop. I'm looking at it right now. Everyone go right now and report him. Josh.drop. Drop a report on his account. If we get everyone in here to do it, he will get banned. He will be off the app. They'll probably device ban him, honestly. Yeah, you could do that, too. Type done when you've reported it. I want this. Ugh. I don't even know what to label him. Just so gross, dude. Oh, look at the video. Oh my God. Ugh. Everyone report. Josh.drop. Everybody type done when you've reported him. Come on, we should have much more people reporting. Josh.drop. Let's teach this guy a lesson. He keeps coming in the live trying to get it banned, showing his feces. He's doing it on purpose. That's why he's showing his feces. His following list is Joe Rogan clips. He needs to be banned. Yeah, that's what he does. He comes in and shows his feces. He's a big, grotesque, disgusting man who shows his feces on lives. And we're trying to get him banned. It's so gross, bro. Like, legitimately disgusting. And he needs to get banned. We need more people reporting. Everyone needs to drop a report. Don't overlook it. Everyone report him. I'm afraid of these. No, don't be afraid of these people. We're fucking steamroll them every chance we get. When they do shit like this, we come together and get them off the fucking app. They're sick, dude. He's done it on other lives. Oh, yeah, he's done it on other lives. He's disgusting. He literally goes to the bathroom and leaves it in his toilet. It's gross. I want him banned. His name is Josh.drop, D-R-O-P. Josh.drop. Be nice if he gets clapped. Come on, we need more people doing it. We need more people doing it. We need more people doing it. What's up, Melanie? Dude, these people are just gross, bro. Like, that's all there is to it. They're just gross people. Like, that's all there is to it. Can you imagine what that house smells like? Can you guys imagine what that house smells like? Like, seriously. Can we just imagine for a second what that fucking smells like? Like, oh my God. That's the type of guy that just should not be on this app at all. Like, he needs to get banned. Oh my God, it's disgusting. We should have had more people reporting, but I'm sure we have lazy people that are like, oh, everyone else will do it. I'm not doing it. It's the same way with elections, too. You can't get people to do shit. No, it's fucking disgusting, dude. Like, it pisses me off because it's just disgusting. No. It's gross. So I don't know if you guys saw this. Mr. Kirk here is taking the boot-licking Trump train position where he's like, yeah, we're not releasing, I support not releasing the files, but I think Megyn Kelly's taking a different position.
Every hand of 7,000 people.
Everybody cares.
Raped all these kids, children, or whatever.
Could have made up for this enormous error. And truly, to this day, with Pam Bondi and Kash Patel.
Sobek, who's incredible.
In operation, had she loathed them and been looking to undermine them. The trick would have been perfect had this been Joe
No, this person's on TikTok, not YouTube.
Biden's White House doing this to some of President Trump's most loyal supporters and media advocates. What happened was they invited all of them there to say hi to the vice president, to say hi to the president. Sure, they all went, of course. Who wouldn't go? To the White House to say hello to Trump? They didn't expect anything on Epstein. So they went, they said hello, and before they knew it, they were...
Listen to this. This is remarkable.
Pulled into a room with Pam Bondi and Kash Patel, and she...
They voted
had
already.
made the binders. She bragged about making the cover sheet that read Epstein Files, Phase 1, and she handed them out. And what Liz Wheeler, who was there, told me was that she told them, there's not that much in here, but like another trove is coming. I'm going to get it from the FBI, but like... Here's phase 1. Flash forward 14 hours earlier to when she was on with Jesse Waters on Fox News saying, oh, you're going to see some Epstein documents tomorrow. She knew they were bullshit. She knew that there was nothing in there. She told the influencers when she gave it to them, there's really nothing in here. I'm going to try to get you more.
Yeah, it was all bullshit propaganda.
And in the meantime, then they funneled them out the back of the White House where all the press corps was. And the influencers are standing there with these binders. They didn't even know they were there for Epstein, and they looked foolish through no fault of their own. The only fault was they trusted her.
And these are some of our best people that we should have their back. Liz Wheeler's amazing, Jack Posobiec.
Yes.
And they got...
She dinged their credibility for no reason.
100%. And did they ever get an apology for that?
No, and the only way of making it up, trust me, as somebody in the media who relies on sources, the only way she could have made up for this enormous error. And truly, to this day, if you believe she knew there was nothing in there, then I don't know why she did it. She just did it to make them look like fools for fun of it.
No, that's not why. It's to appease the base.
But the only way she could have made up for it was to give them a scoop.
Sacrifice
That's the only
them.
way of fixing it. When you have the scoop, when you do get the second tranche, you've got to leak something to them. You've got to let them break something. She never did, but she continued to tout that she had something. She was going to get that FBI file. Then she got caught by James O'Keefe on hidden camera saying she had tens of thousands of videos of Epstein and little children. It was like, what? Well, we never heard that. We heard he was into the barely legal type, the like 18-year-olds who look for.
It's really gross to be talking about human beings that way. But beyond that, can you guys believe that there's videos out there of this shit? And there are people who are actively in high positions in government, in business, that are not being exposed, and they're literally on video in these files abusing children? How can we possibly move forward as a society and not be transparent on this issue? You can't trust anyone. I can conclude that certain people are not on it because there's no relationship, there's no pictures, there's no this, there's no that. But anyone that had a relationship with them, get away from me. We can't move forward. There's no moving forward. There's no forgetting about this, and no. There is none.
14, but we didn't hear about children. And then because she was caught once again shooting off her mouth inappropriately, attorneys general of the United States normally say nothing. They say nothing.
Merrick Garland had one press conference.
These people need to be fucking held accountable.
A year.
Yes, nothing. Bill Barr, you couldn't get him to speak or say anything. Even Eric Holder was less chatty than this. So she got caught on camera, and she decided to cover up the James O'Keefe slip by then running to a real camera and being like,
I can say Biden, I can say Obama and others, okay, there was no relationship, there's no pictures, there's no other. I can do that because that's just common sense. For people that had a relationship, you better fucking clear your name.
Are tens of thousands.
Well, of course they're blaming her, Claire. They're going to use her as the scapegoat. It's not even about Pam Bondi. She deserves to go down like the rest of them for covering it up. But they're, of course, going to try and shift the blame to her. That's very obvious what they're doing here because they don't want to blame Trump. Trump is ultimately who's culpable. Trump is ultimately the person that makes the decision. He's the person that's ultimately responsible here. He's the one that needs to go down for it.
Of videos of the children, and I'm announcing it all. So once again, she didn't give that to the influencers, and then she slides it into this memo.
So I have a dumb question. Maybe it's not dumb. So it's so she had doubled down on the videos. Is that correct, Megan?
Yes. Now she's tripled down.
Epstein was not the perp in every one of those videos.
So because they've been so ambiguous,
no, but
we're
let's
not
just
sure.
think about this. Unless we're led to believe that Epstein himself personally raped all these kids, children, or whatever, then isn't the statute of limitations on child rape like basically infinite?
Well,
so then why are we not indicting the people that were doing the raping that we have on video? Like, what's that all about?
Yeah.
Why don't you ask Trump?
No, you know this better than I do. So Epstein's dead. He's met his hopefully eternal fire where he deserves in the pit of hell. But if it's true, the Attorney General of the United States said, just remind me, we have thousands of videos.
She said that we've got thousands of videos showing child.
So you know what's funny? They only they're talking about 60% of the problem here. Okay, so there's videos with people committing these crimes and doing these things, right? Why are you not mad at Trump? Why are you not equally as mad at Trump? He's aware. He knows. He's clearly seen them. Or knows about them at the very least. They leave Trump out of the equation of blame here. It's pathetic.
Pornography.
And she doubled down on that.
It's about priorities. And Congressman Rob Bresnahan just said we aren't.
It's just unbelievable at this point that these people they're trying to gaslight the American people. Shift blame. Despicable. These people are going down whether they like it or not, because we're never letting this shit go, ever.
You have to infer Jeffrey Epstein was not the only person involved in that.
Well, no, let me tell you what I've gleaned, but since she's been so...
No, it depends on what state you live. There's all sorts of different laws here that come into play. It depends on what happened.
Take it with a grain of salt, okay? She won't have a presser. She won't give an interview. She won't answer any hard questions. All we get is the unsigned paper memo, 2 pages to Axios, who won't ask any questions.
Well, that's the point, Fred. Fred says, as a 52-year-old father of 3, it's unbelievable that any adult male could look at a child in any other eyes than looking at a child they're sweet, innocent, but unfortunately it does happen. It does. That's because these are the worst type of people. These are the worst people you could possibly imagine. And that's why we need to rid our government of them. Not just our government, our society. Everyone needs to know who they are. We cannot move forward unless we know who they are. And I brought this point up in the live earlier, which is not brought up enough, which is that this is used, obviously being used, to blackmail people. There's absolutely no chance they're not using this to blackmail people.
So what I think she's saying is that she's found, allegedly, tens of thousands of screen grabs of child pornography. They call it child sexual abuse material now. It's C-SCAN. And that's what she says they found on his hard drives, he was into this form of porn, off the internet. But separately,
and what did Fred do? What did Fred do? I don't get it. He didn't do anything.
1,000 victims of his.
No, okay, so but 1,000 victims, unless we are to believe he personally was after every one of those victims, there has to be some other bad guys still alive that are powerful that did something to these children. Why are we not impaneling a special prosecutor?
As a 52-year-old father of three, it's unbelievable that any adult male could look at a child in any other eyes. Yeah, that's true. I mean, I don't...
to find every single one of these powerful people that went after these kids. What? Why are we putting up with this?
Yeah, I don't know. And I think you'll find out.
Am I understanding this correctly? Because I don't even remember.
I can't answer that.
I don't even know
Pam
Pam Bondi said that. I can't even remember all this because it's all over. I got a thing on my desk. I got truckloads of stuff.
Yeah, no, we all have busy lives, and President Trump has a busy life, and I don't think he realizes how much she's humiliated the administration. This is a self-inflicted wound. She caused it. Again, I have nothing against Pam Bondi, but if you want to look for the villain in this story, we have found her. I mean, she is the person she's either lying now or she was lying then. There's no two ways about it. And if you accept what's in the memo, that they don't have the goods on it.
Notice how every aspect of this conversation excludes the word Trump, the name Trump. They want Bondi to...
There's no one who can be indicted. They didn't find a trove of info on other people. Then why was she trying to titillate us over a child sexual abuse case for months? She was on the air repeatedly in February, in March, again in May. It's completely inappropriate. You don't play cutesy with child sexual abuse material.
So, Megan, I don't mean to interrupt.
Chevy, thank you for the $5 super chat. Appreciate it.
Totally right. But you know the media, you've been around the space of hyper-ambitious women. What is this analyze?
Listen to this guy. Hyper-ambitious women. What a dirtball.
Her for us.
Well, I think she wants to make a name for herself. What she really wants to be is a star.
Let's blame the woman.
What I think she wants. That's why she runs to the cameras on Fox News.
This is fucking
There's no
pathetic.
Other reason. Look back at the attorneys general. Seriously, do you ever remember knowing an attorney general like this?
I wish I could just be a member of the press that can just ask a question. They don't let anyone in these Turning Point USA events.
Even having the attorney general's voice in your head, I can barely remember Merrick Garland's weird little nasally voice, but it's in there. But the average person couldn't pick him out of a lineup because normally attorneys general are somber, serious people who are fairly annoying, but they're schooled in the law. Pam Bondi has one trait, and I think it's why Trump chose her. She's loyal to the president. And I get it, he does need somebody loyal, especially in that position. But he has a wealth of other options.
Well, I think Judge Jeanine is amazing. Do we like Judge Jeanine? Everything
yes.
I like Judge Jeanine.
Judge Jeanine would be brilliant. Harmeet Dillon would be brilliant.
So you're calling for Pam Bondi to resign or to go.
You're barely into the administration.
Can you please tell people the breaking news? According to reports that you have verified, Kash Patel and Dan Bongino will resign if what does not happen?
If she doesn't go.
So
I only have it on Bongino.
It's all over X though.
No, I know, but let me just tell you what my reporting is. Bongino, it's Bongino or Bondi.
It's not your reporting. It was leaked in News Nation.
Who would you guys prefer, Bongino or Bondi?
Neither.
Okay, 7,000 to 0.
They want Dan. Of course, Dan, you know
they are delusional, you're right, but this is strategic what they're doing right now. They're trying to like unload the blame onto Bondi, and then what? Bondi takes the fall and what? Resigns? That's not going to stop us from asking for the list. And then what? They release a partial redacted version, and then Bongino has more of a credible voice. So then I'm just saying this is how this is going to go down. He has a more credible voice among the red pillars, and then what? He comes out and says, hey guys, this is all that's in there, and then they kind of roll with it. That's what's going to end up happening here. Guarantee it. Carly, thank you for the $10 super chat. I cannot believe this is what we are now talking about with them now. Who cares what side they're on? Absolutely disgusting. These people are trying to make sure Trump doesn't take the fall here. And all I know is if they don't release every single page and name of these files, Trump is done.
why? Because Dan understands MAGA. Dan's part of the MAGA movement. Dan's been an important piece of it. And
this is all. These are bootlickers. These people get their marching orders from Trump, both Kelly and Charlie Kirk here. But what's funny is that Megyn Kelly was disrespected by Trump all through his first campaign. He said a whole bunch of shit about her, and she was one of the anti-Trump people, and she got paid.
A mouthpiece for like really important ideas, and an advocate and a fierce warrior. He's been in the trenches. I mean, with all due respect to Pam Bondi, she's been in Florida. She represented the president. It's nice, but do you think she really gets MAGA? I don't think so.
Megan, this isn't.
She wouldn't have behaved this way if she did. And now it's a time for choosing. It's a time for choosing. We're about to lose Dan for sure, and maybe Cash too, if she doesn't go.
Who gives a
now
shit?
She's got some allies. I mean, I think Susie Wiles is close with her, and Susie Wiles is amazing.
This is why I'm saying I'm really highly concerned, because I don't think that we're ever going to be in a position to actually recover the information. Is it possible they release a phony list? Like, is that a real possibility? I guess it would be. Who would know? If everyone's in on it, how would we know that it's not fake? What if they just remove the parts about Trump and then they later say, well, that information remained classified because he's the sitting president? And because I guarantee you that's the question right now. I'm going to have a hard time believing anything that's released now. I'm going to have a really tough time. If it doesn't have Trump's name in it, there would have been no reason for him to hold on to it.
And look, there's not that many powerful women in the administration. Maybe she wants to keep her. She's from Florida. Susie Wiles from Florida. Trump lives in Florida.
I wish somebody would just fucking leak it. But the problem is you also have victims on that list, that are in those files, and you don't want them to be, face any backlash here. I wish someone would leak it and redact the victims' names.
But this has gone well beyond this. This could actually cost Trump in the midterms. We need to make a smart choice right now. We can't lose any of the MAGA base.
And let me just...
think about it. It could be one page of Donald, because I said this before, and I want people to know this. It doesn't have to say Trump was on the island in order to ruin Trump. It could just indicate they had a relationship more than Trump had disclosed publicly. That alone would ruin him. And it would ruin him among his base. There was hardcore evidence that they continued their relationship after Trump said he ended the relationship. If, I don't know, they had been in contact recently before his arrest, anything, even if it doesn't prove he's on the island, he's done. I suspect it's possible that it's more of something like that than it is any proof he's on the island. Of course, if he's on the island, that's the worst of the worst. I don't know.
Also reiterate this, and by no means did I want our very big student action summit to talk about
Shut up,
Epstein,
you bootlicker.
of all the things.
What's up, Autumn?
I'm not Epstein obsessed. Some people, their YouTube channel, it's all they talk about. I think that the fact that young
now they're calling us Epstein obsessed. Oh my God, you guys are talking about Epstein too much.
Can't afford homes.
What a joke.
Something we should talk about a lot more than these things. And
I'm never going to stop talking about it.
And so, from a media standpoint, Megan, you know the media better.
It's funny Charlie Kirk's telling people what their channel is. Your channel sucks, dude.
Anybody else? You've been in the media. You've been outside the media. What's the Sunday night thing What is that? So you have a July 4th weekend after the big, beautiful bill, and you leak it on a Sunday night?
To Axios.
What is that?
If you want to leak it and you want conservatives to see it, you leak it to the Daily Caller. You leak it to Fox News. You leak it to Daily Wire. You don't leak it to Axios. Our people don't read Axios. If we read Axios, it's under protest just to see what the left is saying. So it was like you saw it appear. It was like, this must be bull. There's no way this is real. There's no way.
This is a headline article right now that says Democrats are more dissatisfied than Republicans. But let's take a look at this. So right here, I don't know why this is suddenly lagging like this. What the fuck? Can you guys hear me? Can you guys see me and hear me? I just got a weird fucking message from YouTube there. That was fucking weird. I just got a weird error message from YouTube. What the fuck? That was bizarre. Anyway, let me read this, whatever's going on here. So half of Americans say they are dissatisfied with the amount of information the federal government has released about the Jeffrey Epstein case. According to the new CNN poll conducted by SSRS in the days after the Justice Department released a memo saying there is no evidence the convicted sex offender kept a so-called client list or was murdered. Almost no one is content with the amount of the government has shared. Just 3% of Americans say they are satisfied with it. A sizable chunk of the public either says it doesn't matter to them either way, 29%, or that they haven't heard enough about the case to say whether or not they do at 17%. The poll shows Republicans at large are less likely to say they are dissatisfied with the information shared than Democrats or independents. Overall, 56% of Democrats and 52% of independents say they are dissatisfied with what's been released. Among Republicans, only 40% are dissatisfied. Nearly as many Republicans say it doesn't matter to them either way at 38%, a larger group than the roughly one quarter who felt that way among Democrats, 27%, or independents, 26%. That follows a pattern going back to Trump's first term. Polling has found often large shares of Republicans saying they don't know or don't care about a particular issue when Trump's position has proved broadly unpopular. So, more Democrats, and here's the embargoed for release. So, more Democrats are dissatisfied than Republicans. That says a lot, too.
And Bongino's leaking to Axios. Zero. And cash. So, and yet today, as we came here, there's a piece in Axios that reflects very poorly on Dan, alleging Dan only freaked out once he saw in this memo that people weren't responding well to the missing minute of the tapes of Jeffrey Epstein's cell. Do you guys know this piece of the story? And that he went into a meltdown like a little child and then threw a hissy fit. So my point is not to weigh in on the truth or...
By the way, do you guys think it's really weird the minute that's missing? Are we really going to sit here and pretend that's not fucking weird as shit? The missing minute? Like, can we all take a second and actually look at this tape really quick? Because this is just, besides these Muppets...
You don't buy a mattress.
Let's take a look at this really quick, all right? Because this is weird.
Triggering It's the controversial video that is triggering a MAGA mutiny. It's supposed to show raw footage of the jail cell where Jeffrey Epstein was being held the night he committed suicide. The video was released by the Department of Justice to prove that no one entered Epstein's cell before he was found dead, and that he really did take his own life. But it's only fueling more conspiracy theories. Look, the video jumps just before 11:59 to midnight. There's 1 full minute missing. Attorney General Pam Bondi tried to explain the missing minute.
Every night the video is reset, and every night should have the same minute missing.
I spoke with forensic video expert Andrew Garrett. Do you think this is really the raw footage?
No, not at all. We've got major problems with this video. You have a missing section in the video. These are 2 actual videos stitched together.
So
what a joke.
Do you believe this video was purposely edited?
It definitely looks suspect.
Pam Bondi's declaration that there was nothing suspicious about Epstein's death is leading to a MAGA civil war. Fox News personality Laura Ingraham spoke at a conservative gathering over the weekend.
How many of you are not satisfied with the results of the investigation?
And by the way, just so you guys know, after Kirk was at Turning Point with Megyn Kelly and they were bashing Bondi, Trump went on True Social and defended her. Just so everybody knows that. Alex, thank you for the $4.99 super chat. Not to mention, one man goes into the cell and then a completely different man exits the cell. The whole thing is sus.
Oh, did Steve Bannon.
Epstein is a key that picks the lock on so many things. Not just individuals, but also institutions.
I agree with that.
President Trump is standing by his attorney general. He gave her the thumbs up
because he's on it
sign at the World Club Soccer Final Sunday. He also posted, Pam Bondi is doing a fantastic job. We're on one team, MAGA, and I don't like what's happening.
And that was after that Turning Point thing. I want to see the whole tape here. Let's see if I can.
It's the controversy.
Without some news reporting. Let's see here.
Hey everybody, Dr. G here. I'm a clinical and forensic psychologist as well as a body language expert, and today we're going to be analyzing the behavior and body language leading up to Jeffrey Epstein's death. It's going to be from the jail CCTV. Before we get started with this, a couple of quick things. One, I wanted to make sure you know this is not a psychological evaluation of any kind. These are just my opinions. In addition to that, I do want to remind you to like and subscribe if you want to see more content just like this. All right, let's go. The Department of Justice has officially concluded that nothing nefarious happened, in fact, lines up with that timeline or how closely it lines up. All right, let's just jump right in. At 7:49 p.m., we're seeing Jeffrey Epstein coming back after meeting with his attorney. You can see him right here in the orange jumpsuit. Now, he's walking with a pretty brisk pace. He's walking ahead of the officer right there. There's another officer walking behind. Nothing too notable about that. One thing that surprises me, though, is I actually thought that Jeffrey Epstein would be a lot taller than that. He doesn't look all that tall right here. But there's nothing particularly notable about how he's walking. The one thing you may be noticing is that the officer is waving his hand as they're talking, which means they're interacting right now. It looks like that the security officer walking with him is interacting and talking to Jeffrey Epstein right now.
This guy appeared, and he said he's a forensic psychologist,
So he's being led to a prison cell that is approximately here. Now, we can't see it on camera, obviously, because it's cut off. But it gives us some idea of where people are walking and where he is, in fact, held. That's an important part of understanding the rest of the video that we're going to watch. So what we're going to do is we're going to skip ahead now. And we're going to talk about the different parts of the timeline that stand out, and we're going to look at a couple of things that are a little bit strange. Now, it was reported that at 10 p.m. they were supposed to check on Jeffrey Epstein. Now, the area you're going to want to focus on is in the back, right there. This is where the correctional officers sit. This is where they do their thing. So if you're going to see movement, it's going to be in this area. And as you can see, 10 o'clock, nobody's moving right now. Now, as you can see, it's around 10:30. There's a correctional officer that's starting to move, and they ultimately are going to go check on the Jeffrey Epstein tier, as they're calling it, that area. And so what is being reported so far is pretty consistent with what we're seeing on the video. 10 o'clock, there was no check. At 10:30, it looks like there's some form of a check. So far, what we have seen, as you can see, the correctional officer just walked right there, that is so far consistent with what was reported. So one of the challenging parts about this is that one of the claims, and this is much harder to verify, is they say that nobody walked into that area.
What number is his cell? 46?
Again, between 10:30 and 6:33 when his body was found. But as we're going to skipping a minute, it's probably when it saves to a new file or something like that. I do not think that they waited until 11:59 to have 1 minute for somebody to do something and for them to cut that out. That just seems a little bit ridiculous, and the timing is too good. So I think that really it's just a function of the mechanics of how this works, of how the video cameras work, or how the securing from that area. He's going up into this area, which I just call room 46 because that's the number on the door. It's one of those areas where you have to call to get in. He looks a little bit rushed. I don't think that's anything suspicious. Some people are just like that when it comes to opening doors that you have to call to get unlocked and that sort of thing. So right now we're getting an idea of this room because this is going to be a focus of some things later. You can also see he leaves the door wide open. Probably not a good idea. Shows that he's not really paying that much attention to what he's doing right now. One thing that I also think is interesting is how heavy the clothes that some of the people are wearing. I'm going to explain why that's relevant in a minute. One thing that the timeline didn't talk about really was anybody else that was involved here or anybody else that was on the floor. The way that it reads when you go back to the 2019 timeline is that it's just those two officers and they're the only people that we see. But as it turns out, that's not really the case. Like I said, nothing suspicious about this individual being there, but it shows that we've been given an incomplete snapshot of what that night was like. And as you can see, still plenty of people walking around. Still the officers are walking in what appears to be the general vicinity of where Epstein would have been held. So one of the things that's very interesting that it's claimed repeatedly throughout the timeline is that they didn't actually do any of the sweeps. They didn't actually go and do any sort of head counts or check who was where. And as you can see, the officers are actually getting up and walking around.
So at what time do they discover him?
So as you can see, she's not really looking around, not paying a lot of attention to anything other than, I think you have to lift a phone so that somebody can open or buzz you in so you can go through that door. And right now, she's also clearly very hot. You see, she's dabbing her face, getting sweat off of herself. At least that's what it appears to be. So very casually going in, seemed a bit hot, but otherwise it was unremarkable. But I want you to pay attention to that because we're going to go to another time that the same correctional officer goes into this door, which is a little bit more interesting. Now a couple of hours have passed, and the same correctional officer is going back to room 46 again. But this time, it's a little bit different.
See, for me, I've always been under the impression that he probably did it. Wouldn't shock me if there was something there about letting him do it. I don't know. But this part to me is...
So it looks like she's talking to another officer down in the officer's station. So lifting the phone to get in, exactly the same as last time.
I don't have the timeline of events in front of me, so I don't know.
Now, that little gesture right there is what I'm paying attention to. That's the thing that kind of gets me, because I'm just curious what she's pointing to. Now, I don't know what's in this room right here, but I do know that Jeffrey Epstein's cell, based on the way everything looks, is pretty similar to the direction she's pointing. Now, I don't want to imply that she's done anything wrong.
That's fucking weird.
But I do know that Jeffrey Epstein's cell, based on the way everything looks, is pretty similar to the direction she's pointing. Now, I don't want to imply that she's done anything wrong, but it's just peculiar. It's one of those things that I hope that the DOJ, when they reviewed all of this, that they ask questions about this, because it's strange and it's hard to make sense of. Now, in the context of what they're talking about, maybe they were talking about going to the bathroom or something. Who knows? It could be anything that she was pointing to. But it's curious, given that Jeffrey Epstein's cell is, in fact, that direction. And it's a little more curious what she does afterward. Just keep watching. So she's talking to this person, points that direction, which...
What the fuck? I didn't even know about this.
If I understand right, is approximately where his cell is. Not that she's not pointing to the room that she's getting ready to go into.
No, she's not pointing at 46, whatever this is. She's
then afterward looks up at the camera and then looks back at the camera again, which I think is a little bit odd. Because she didn't do that the first time that she went into the door. Sometimes you just become aware of those things. That doesn't necessarily mean that what's happening right now is extremely meaningful, but it's peculiar. And it's one of those things, like I said, it would be great that when they went through and did their full investigation, I hope that those are the things they paid attention to. And they may have asked questions about that exact stuff. They may already know the exact answer. It's probably something completely innocuous, but it is a little bit strange. We're going to watch.
Well, I don't know what's in this 46 door. I don't know.
One last time, and then we're going to keep going.
This is some kind of, contains something for them. I don't know what's in it exactly. Yeah, we know that's why she's pointing, but she's not pointing at 46. When she's pointing in the general vicinity of where his cell would be. She's not pointing at 46 there. And she goes in here and looks back at the camera.
Look at the camera again, which I think is a little bit odd.
What the fuck are they? Yeah, that's weird. I'm not. That is weird.
Because she didn't do that the first time that she went into the door. Sometimes you just become aware of those things. That doesn't necessarily mean that what's happening right now is extremely meaningful, but it's peculiar. And it's one of those things, like I said, it would be great that when they went through and did their full investigation, I hope that those are the things they paid attention to. And they may have asked questions about that exact stuff. They may already know the exact answer. It's probably something completely innocuous, but it is a little bit strange. We're going to watch it one last time, and then we're going to keep going.
Points to where it is, and then goes through this door.
And then we have somebody come up a couple of minutes later. Now, what I think is strange, what stands out to me, is the fact that it's either really hot or really cold in there. Because the other correctional officer had been dabbing her forehead because she was so hot, and this person has a hood on.
Dude. Like, I didn't even see this part yet.
Because, I don't know, maybe it's cold in there. And everybody's allowed to have their own temperatures that they prefer. But it is quite an extreme that one person is literally sweating and the other person is literally bundled up. It's puzzling to me.
Well, what's up with the hood? But she wasn't pointing at the 46. She wasn't pointing at door 46. Looks like she was pointing at one of the cells in the common area down there.
And here we are around 6:31. This is towards the end of the footage. Apparently it was at 6:33 that the body was in fact found. And as you can see, the guards are moving around as you would expect. An alarm gets set off. Obviously you can't hear it because of the nature of what this is. There's no sound to this. But you can see people scrambling around. There's not a whole lot more detail. But at this point, you're essentially seeing that this is the end point where they in fact found Jeffrey Epstein. I'll show you. I'm going to fast forward for 1 second. But as you can see, they're all scrambling right over here, which means that this area is approximately where Jeffrey Epstein's cell was, to give you
so 6:30 and it's 6:35 there.
Some frame of reference for everything we looked at today. All right, let's go ahead and stop here. Hopefully this is helping you better.
Okay, I'm going to say right now, I don't know. Looks like Trump just answered some questions minutes ago. Somebody said he was asked about the Epstein files. Let's see what his answer was.
Hello, Mr. President. We brought our star along here. We're going to Pittsburgh. We're going to be touting about, actually, it's going to be numbers like nobody's ever heard before. It's mostly to do with AI. We have tremendous investments being made, literally trillions of dollars of investments being made in our country on AI. artificial intelligence. I don't know if the word artificial is a good word, but that's the word. That's what they
It doesn't show his cell, but it shows the common area and people moving around. And from what I saw in the video, somebody said 46 is the hallway. All I can tell you is the hoods, people seem to be wearing hoods and things like that. I don't know. That's weird to me. The looking back at the camera is weird to me. There's some weird stuff. Is it evidence of anything directly? No. Is there some weird stuff in there? Certainly. Could we be looking into it too much because it's an unusual circumstance? Yes. I've never been a huge he didn't kill himself person. I don't know if he did or not. What I can tell you is that I think there's things we don't know, and that's all I know for sure. I don't like to jump to conclusions. I never was a big he didn't kill himself person, though, because I think it's totally possible that he did. I mean, but is the video weird? I think it's weird, people. I'm not going to lie.
So,
that's why this shit needs to be released. We need to know what's going on here, period.
We're going to have a very successful trip. We had a good call with the Texas congressman this morning, as you probably heard, and that went very well. And you have any questions? Yeah. Very slight. Essentially, they were exactly as anticipated.
One thing I will notice, maybe you guys have noticed, most of us just want the files released. We don't care about politics when it comes to this. Just release them. Who's on them, we'll deal with it after. Right? And what you'll notice is there's a select few people who have a problem with me talking about this. We saw it during the TikTok live today. You see people get angry. They're typically on the right side of the political spectrum, and they get angry when I bring this up. Look how angry some people were today. When I'm literally talking about exposing a pedophile, they're angry. If that's not telling on yourself, I don't know what is, dude.
Very low inflation. So what you should do is lower the rate. The Fed should lower the rate immediately. We had a big win with the Supreme Court on the Department of Education. We want, as you know, we want to bring education back to the states, take the federal government out of it. A little tiny bit of supervision, but very little, almost nothing, like to make sure they speak English. That's about all we need. But well, we have school choice, and we're getting school choice approved all over the country. We just got it done in Texas, and school choice is the answer. Yes, I see. Well, at the end of 50 days, if we don't have a deal, it's going to be too bad. Well, the tariffs are going to go on, and other sanctions go on. No, he shouldn't target Moscow. No, we're not looking to do that.
Mr. President, why are you giving Mr. Putin 50 additional days to prosecute this war against Ukraine?
Oh, I don't think 50 days is very long, and it could be sooner than that. I don't think 50 days is very long.
Mr. President,
you should have asked that same question to Biden.
There was a couple of Republicans making the argument today that the fallout will be so drastic, so many things will happen, so many people will crumble their careers that it'll have an impact on the American people. That was their defense for not releasing it. Like, what if it affects the economy? What if it affects this? What if it affects that? Like, any excuse.
Why did he get us into this war?
I don't give a shit what happens.
Yeah, and what did he tell you? Why did he get us into this war? You know what?
Wait, hold on. What is he talking about here?
You should have asked that same, and it could. Oh, I don't think 50 days is very long, and it could be sooner than that. I don't think 50 days is very long. You should have asked that same question to Biden. Why did he get us into this war? You should ask that question. Yeah, and what did he tell you? Why did he get us into this war? You know why he got us in? Because he's a dummy. That's why. And you don't cover it right. But you should be asking that question to Biden. Why did he get us into this war? Because he's incompetent. It would have never happened if I were president. Go ahead. So we made a deal with Indonesia. I spoke to their really great president, very popular, very strong, smart. And we made the deal. We have full access to Indonesia, everything. As you know, Indonesia is very strong on copper. But we have full access to everything. We will pay no tariffs. So they are giving us access into Indonesia, which we never had. That's probably the biggest part of the deal. And the other part is they are going to pay 19%, and we are going to pay nothing. I think it's a good deal for both parties. But we will have full access into Indonesia. And we have a couple of those deals that are going to be announced. India basically is working along that same line. We're going to have access into India. And you have to understand, we had no access into any of these countries. Our people couldn't go in. And now we're getting access because of what we're doing with the tariffs. So they're paying 19%, and we are not paying anything. And they're going to give us full access into Indonesia. Now, Indonesia has some great product, and they also have some very valuable earths and various other materials. One of the things, as you know, they're known for is very high-quality copper.
At what point does he answer a question about the files?
Be using.
Do you believe your tariffs might have led for inflation to increase last month? Do you think they had any role?
Well, we had very little inflation. I don't know. Who do you work for?
USA Today.
What?
USA Today.
Oh, well, they wrote me a beautiful article the other day, so I can't get angry at you. USA Today just wrote a very good article about me. What's that all about? So I can't get angry at you. No, there was very little inflation, as you know. The numbers were very good, very much inside the margin. So we've had no inflation. All we have is we're making a fortune. We are taking in hundreds of billions of dollars. You saw we had a surplus of $25 billion last month, which we haven't had in many, many years. We are doing it because I'm able to do it. Nobody else would be able to do it. We have tariffs going on because the United States make their Russia war. That's the side I'm on.
Mr. President, your daughter-in-law said that there was transparency in the Epstein case.
Here it is right here. Here it is, everybody. Right here. I think they just said Epstein.
The Attorney General's handled that very well. She's really done a very good job. And I think that when you look at it, you'll understand that. I would like to see that also. But I think the Attorney General, the credibility is very important. And you want credible evidence for something like that. And I think the Attorney General's handled it very well.
So he's once again saying that there's things in the files that are not credible. If that's not sus, I don't know what is.
On what? On what? On what subject? Okay.
Why is Caroline Levitt just standing there? It's fucking weird.
A very, very quick briefing. Yeah. No, she's given us just a very quick briefing, and in terms of the credibility of the different things that they've seen. And I would say that, these files were made up by Comey, they were made up by Obama, they were made up by the Biden information.
Here it is. This guy is totally in this shit, dude.
Different things that they've seen. And I would say that, these files were made up by Comey, they were made up by Obama, they were made up by the Biden information. We went through years of that with the Russia hoax.
Oh my God, he is so in these files. Holy shit.
with all of the different things that we had to go through. We've gone through years of it, but she's handled it very well, and it's going to be up to her. Whatever she thinks is credible, she should release. Yeah.
All right, guys. I got to make a video about that. That's just too much to... I mean, if that's not telling on yourself, I don't know what is. Holy crap. That was such a damning answer again. Holy crap. Wow. All right, guys, I'm going to go eat lunch. I might be on later. I've already been streaming for about 5 hours now, so I'm getting a little burned out, but I appreciate you coming. Thank you for the 4 people who did try and contribute to the gifting goal. Appreciate you, and I will talk to you soon. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.